This is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, one of the best, most fun, well-acclaimed pocket-sized cameras with a 3-axis gimbal out in the market today. This is also a Pocket 3, but this is the Feiyu Tech Pocket 3, and it can do this. Hi, I'm Jong. I am a portrait photographer and nightlife videographer based in Brooklyn, New York by way of Manila, Philippines. And in this video, we are comparing the Feiyu Tech Pocket 3 and the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. So in this video, we'll do some indoor and outdoor image and audio tests just so that you can see them head to head. It's not quite a fair comparison because the Feiyu Tech Pocket 3 is a generation older. This might be better compared with the DJI Pocket 2 instead of the 3, but because the Pocket 3 are the ones that are out right now, and if you're considering getting one of these handheld pocket gimbal cameras, hopefully this video will give you a little bit more guidance on where to invest your dollars. Just quickly going through the specs, the DJI Pocket 3 starts at $520, where the Feiyu Tech can be under $350. The DJI Pocket 3 is the newest generation. It has all the most upgraded tech and a way bigger sensor compared to the Feiyu Tech Pocket 3. But why should you still consider this? So let's break it down. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 has a 1-inch sensor, while the Feiyu Tech has a 1/2 inch sensor. So a lot smaller. Just with those specs, you can accurately presume that image quality, handling in low light, as well as noise and grain will be a lot better with the DJI. But for the things that you would be using this small pocket-sized gimbal camera, you might still be able to get quality shot. On the photo end though, the DJI Pocket really has just 9.4 megapixels and the Feiyu Tech has 12 megapixels. So in certain cases, Feiyu Tech could have better image quality. We'll have samples of that later in this video. They can both shoot up to 4K. The DJI Osmo Pocket can go up to 120 frames per second in 4K, while the Feiyu Tech can only go to 60 frames per second on 4K. You can drop this down to 1080 and you'll get 120 frames per second, and even further down to 720 and you can get up to 240 frames per second. DJI has 10-bit log, while Feiyu Tech has 8-bit flat. By far better colors, better image quality on the DJI side. And while they both shoot at f2, DJI has a 20mm equivalent, while Feiyu Tech has a 16mm equivalent. Actually, that wider field of view will be a lot easier when you're handheld vlogging or if you want to put more things in frame. They both have zoom. DJI has a 2x zoom and Feiyu Tech has a 4x zoom. That gives you a little bit more of flexibility in terms of framing your footage. They both have time-lapse feature, they both have slow-mo features, they both have hyperlapse feature, but those features depend on the foundational element in terms of image quality, where we can already safely assume that DJI will be a lot better. However, this Feiyu Tech is already $200 cheaper than the base model DJI Pocket 3, and you can make it even more cheap by starting with just buying the camera itself. The main feature that I love about the Feiyu Tech Pocket 3 is that you have this detachable remote control that can be bought separately or as a set, where you can control your camera remotely and you have that little screen so you can see your frame. The Feiyu Tech camera is also magnetic, so you can stick this to weird places and get that unique footage, and that's where this particular camera shines. Sure, you can do it with the DJI itself, but you'll need to get mounts and brackets and suction cups. But if you're just doing something for a personal project, something simple for yourself, or you just want to slap this on somewhere unique, onto the hood of your car, on a light post, certain stands in certain places in your house, you can get very, very unique shots with that particular feature. And if you're just starting off and you don't know whether you like these types of cameras, and you start with just the camera for the Feiyu Tech, they have an app where you can remotely view and control the camera straight from your phone. And you can even start with just getting a regular phone mount, even getting a cheap cold shoe mount for the Feiyu Tech camera and building your rig just like so. The Feiyu Tech, just the camera, comes with this magnetic base plate that you can slip in some wrist mounts too. You have a longer version of the strap so you can hook it onto a particular area that you need, and a plastic cap to protect your camera and gimbal. But again, this camera shines once you get a remote control as well, where you can attach the camera to the remote control for handheld shooting, detach it for remote shooting. Controls are fairly simple. There's a power button, there's a mode button, as well as a shutter button. That is also included in the remote. Tapping on the power button cycles through the different shooting modes. You can do your video, you can do a 4x slow-mo in 1080, so that's 120 frames. You can do a 16:9 photo, and you cycle back to the video. You have a joystick, controls the camera head, and tapping the mode button once changes the follow mode of your camera. So it can be all follow, pan mode, and when you press and hold, you can do a lock mode. Double tap recenters the camera, and triple tap flips it to the other side. Cycling through the settings, you can indicate whether you're doing it in handheld mode or mounted mode when you have the camera detached. You can cycle through the setup, set the anti-flickering, check the battery percentage, connect it via Wi-Fi if you're using your phone, how much storage you're left, calibrating it, and cycling through the different mirroring modes, either average or spot. You can also change the viewing angle. You can do it wide, super wide, or narrow, and then you can cycle through face tracking on and off. The face tracking with the Feiyu Tech, or the tracking in general, is not as snappy and as responsive compared to the DJI, but that is just to be expected for this type of product. You can change the recording quality from high to super high. You can also check different sorts of displays. There's an option where you can change it from normal to pro mode, but for these types of cameras, setting it in normal mode is the best. And you can adjust the brightness of your LCD screen. But to really see the worth of the camera, let's just test them side by side. All right, here's a quick little video and audio test with both the Osmo Pocket 3 and the Feiyu Pocket 3 indoors in a fairly well-lit environment. So how does it look like? All right, studio light. This is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, all auto, standard color profile. This is how the Feiyu Tech Pocket 3 looks like. Again, all auto, standard picture profile. Both of these are in 4K 24. Now let's try it in an indoor low light environment. All right, just from the back of the screen, I can see that, this like backlit environment, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 kind of exposes a little bit better, definitely because of the bigger sensor, with the Feiyu Pocket 3 already underexposed. Let's bring the lights back up. Let's do a quick audio test. We're indoors, fairly quiet environment, just normal, no outside noise. This is how it sounds with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 around arm's length. And this is how it sounds with the Feiyu Pocket 3. Again, around arm's length. Let's move, scooch a little back. How does it sound with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3? How about now? How does it sound with the Feiyu Tech Pocket 3? Heading out so you guys can get a sample of the shifts in exposure. DJI, of course, has a better time handling the change in exposure, most likely because of the hardware software. Definitely the 1-inch sensor helps here a lot. Face tracking also is a lot better with DJI, of course. Yeah, we're walking from the shadow to bright. The Feiyu Tech struggles a little bit, particularly when there's high dynamic range where it's bright in the background. Although I do like the idea that Feiyu Tech has a way wider field of view. Both cameras are at 4K, 24 FPS, everything auto. This won't be a super scientific test, but you guys can get the general gist of it. Still face tracking. Yeah, a little laggy on the Feiyu Tech. DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is extremely responsive in terms of the tracking feature, particularly on the face tracking feature. Yeah, I'm not super happy in terms of how the horizons are rocking with the Feiyu Tech. I had to recenter the gimbal to keep it back again. So that's a particular thing of note, but these are both 3-axis gimbals, which I prefer way more than electronic stabilization, which we have with other action cameras, other 360 cameras, because ideally the stabilization will be a lot smoother because it's mechanical, it's physical rather than electronic. You're not cropping in and calculating the horizons and the movement of your subject. This is actually with a gyroscope attached on the gimbal. So the best way to test the accuracy of the gimbals is, you know, we've been doing the walk test, right? Smooth. Let's do a bit of a run. Oh, super smooth, right? I'll do a little bit more of the face tracking test. How's the subject detection, kids? It's not too fast and jittery. I think both are comparable, but again, the DJI Osmo Pocket just locks on a lot better, a lot more. More backlit tests for you. The Feiyu Tech is a lot darker, at least in the small screen that I see currently. A bit of outdoor audio test. I'm an arm's length away from both cameras, so I'm speaking directly to the cameras now. Just a stereo pickup, no other enhancements. So this is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 audio, and this is the Feiyu Tech Pocket 3 audio straight out of the camera. Let's do one more step back. So let's see, normal speaking voice, plane flying by in the public park, lots of people, bit of wind. How does the Osmo Pocket 3 sound? And how does the Feiyu Tech Pocket 3 sound? Alright, we're back in the apartment, and even though comprehensively the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 quality-wise is better than Feiyu Tech Pocket 3, I would still consider getting this if, one, you're just starting your photo and video journey, if you just want to get a handle on filming with a camera that has a built-in gimbal for smoother shots, get a lot more experience before you start investing in more premium gear. The Feiyu Tech Pocket 3 also encourages you to think outside the box on where you'd want your camera, and even after you mount it, you can still control it and move it both with a controller and with just your phone if you're really on a budget to get those unique angles that you need for awesome videos. I plan on using this a lot when I film behind the scenes of my photo shoots. I just think that putting the camera in weird angles, then shooting, and then zooming in and reframing the shots will allow me different perspectives of a particular session way easier, even just setting up my Osmo Pocket 3, putting a base plate on it, mounting it on a tripod or monopod, and moving it from place to place. So I hope you found this video informative. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do it just by simply subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you know when our next videos drop. Again, I publish one live art performance, be it burlesque, sideshow, or music every week. I'm also doing more gear reviews and thoughts about the equipment that I have to capture different sorts of images and memories, personally and for my friends and clients. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.